Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Friday afternoon on the porch. And got some tunes I'm going to play for you. Hope you enjoy. I told Chester that I lost all my music temporarily out of my iPad, so I was going to play things I knew. So these are mostly those. I never cared much for moonlit skies. I never went back at fireflies. But now that the stars are in your eyes, I'm beginning to see the light. I never went in for afterglow, a candlelight on that mistletoe. But now when you turn the lights down low, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and you caused a spark that's for a long fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. Used to ramble through the park, shadow boxing in the dark. Then you came and you caused a spark that's for a long fire now. I never made love by lantern shine. I never saw rainbows in my wine. But now that your lips are burning mine, I'm beginning to see the light. I'm beginning to see the light. Thank you. Let me see if I can make this other ukulele play for you. So I was going to tell you a little bit about a man named Mario Maccaferi. Anybody know that name? Anybody? He was a Italian fella that was born in the year 1900. And when he was 11 years old, he was apprenticed to a instrument maker who made guitars and other instruments. And he started learning to play classical guitar and harp guitar, another kind of an interesting instrument. And he played stages around like Anton Segovia. He was kind of that level of player until he hurt his hand, and then he was kind of done with his concert career. And in 1931 or 32, he went to work for a French guitar company, Selmer Company, and he designed guitars, and he's the one that's responsible for that guitar that Jekyll Reinhardt played. I don't know if you've seen that in the Hot Club. We played with Stefan Grappelli back in the 30s and the 40s. Wonderful, wonderful guitar player, and a very cool looking guitar. A big guitar with a sound hole that was shaped like a D or like a very small hole. And it became a world famous, still very desirable guitar. And this Maccaferi, Mr. Maccaferi, was the one that was designed that guitar. Several years later, he left to make a company that made reeds for clarinets and saxophones. And then when World War II started to get ready to happen in Europe, he moved his family to New York, to the Bronx, and figured out a process to make these reeds that made them kind of desirable reeds for those horn players. Then when World War II started, the materials, those reed material, was no longer really readily available. So he looked around for another material, went to the New York World's Fair, and saw this new material that they were developing to use in the war effort, because a lot of the materials were not available, and it was called plastic. So he got looking at that plastic, and he started making reeds for clarinets and saxophones out of plastic. And they didn't change with the weather, they weren't affected by water, and he got endorsements by Benny Goodman and lots of wonderful professional players. And he started making molds to make these reeds and working with this new material, plastic. And then eventually he started making lots of things out of plastic. Made clothespins, plastic hangers, toilet seats, and toward the end of the war, he started making plastic tiles that they put on houses for the returning veterans who were buying houses, and he had tons and tons of tiles. And then other people started to get into the business of making plastic items, and he had a chance meeting with Arthur Godfrey, who was a famous entertainer, and they played some music together in Hawaii, and they talked, and Arthur Godfrey just mentioned that he was a ukulele player, and they didn't make inexpensive instruments that were playable. So Mr. Maccaferi goes home. He's been thinking about making instruments for 50 years, and he decides that he's going to try to make plastic instruments. So he designed and put together and made, this is one of the ones from the 50s of his, Maccaferi ukulele. And it's made out of plastic, injection molded. You got 8 pieces that are put together. It's well designed, that stays in tune. The tuners are good. It has an interesting 0 fret that makes it tune and stay in tune. And it's made out of a Dow styrene that gives it a, he thought, a woody sound. And they originally came in this color, this spruce colored top and a rosewood colored plastic on the back. So he was making these ukuleles, and Arthur Godfrey was on the radio about 8 or 9 or 10 hours a week and played his ukulele, and he started playing one of Mr. Maccaferi's ukuleles. And he liked the fact that it was tunable, that it was a real instrument, and then he said on the show that, and it only costs $5.95, and it's a real instrument, and he said, a kid with a ukulele in his hand can't get into much trouble. And immediately they started selling plastic ukuleles. The first year, they sold 350,000 ukuleles. He was making them one every 15 minutes, and then they doubled their production. So he made 6,000 a day. Told you that to tell you this. At the time, they were playing mostly novelty tunes on the ukulele. And this is one of those novelty tunes. It sounds like this. When the work's all done and the sun's setting low, there ain't nothing that I'd rather do than sit around the house when the folks ain't home, listen to the music on the gramophone. Oh, I like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band. Give me rural rhythm and let me sway right with them. Well, I think the melody is grand. I heard Hawaiians play in the land of the Wikiwacky, and I Jackie, I like mountain music, good old mountain music, played by a real hillbilly band. So that was the kind of music they were mostly playing. It was kind of those fun novelty songs. He sold 9 million ukuleles. So if you ever had a ukulele, a plastic ukulele in the 50s under your tree at Christmas, it was probably one of Mr. Maccaferi's. He also made guitars that they discovered in a warehouse. When he was 75 years old, they went to the warehouse, they found all these guitars, the plastic guitars that he made, and those came on the market. I bought one for $75 in 1982, and it was a great little plastic guitar. It kind of had trouble with the weather. It's no longer with us, but it was real fun. And Arthur Godfrey got playing the ukulele and was responsible for probably the #2 ukulele craze in the United States. And he got playing swing tunes too, including this one. This is Not Too Happy in the Sun. Every time it rains, and it's from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven? And know your fortune's falling all over town. Just let your umbrella is upside down. Don't you do trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. Don't you know to do? Don't you love them? They must have flowers. So when you see it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Yeah, Maccaferi. That was one of those words. Glenn said the storytellers were great last night. They were almost sold out. Said there were a few tickets left for tonight that you can get at the door, probably. And we're going to go and enjoy that fun entertainment. All right, what's going on here? And here's one that I'm working on. Marsh and I will sing this for you one of these days. I get it figured out. Oh, I can't give you anything but love, baby. It's the only thing I'm thinking of, baby. Dream a while, scheme a while, you're sure to find happiness. Well, I guess all those things you've always pined for, to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets, wood doesn't sell, baby. Till that lucky day, you know darn well, baby, I can give you anything but love. Always pine for to see you looking swell, baby. Diamond bracelets, wood doesn't sell, baby. Another lucky day, you know darn well, baby. I can give you anything but love. I can't give you anything but love. Thank you very much. You've been very patient in the hot afternoon. Hope you had a little more breeze out there. And we're going to close with our favorite and hope to see you at the storytelling tonight. Glenn's telling stories. Mary's going to tell a story, I think, or sing us a song. It'd be great. I'm sure Diane is getting ready.
I have one extra program I brought home. Anyone's welcome.
Anyone's welcome to look at the program. All right, God bless you all, and we will see you next week. Till then, you take a C and an R and an ESS, WIND, and that spells grass wing. Anna means paradise. You take a C and an R and an ESS, WIND, and that spells grass wing. It's mighty nice. Don't cover a lot when you look on the map. But I was studying geography while I was looking at my retirement map. You take a C R E S S W I N D, and that spells grass wing, and that's home to me. And that spells grass wing. It's nice paradise meets paradise in Gainesville, Georgia, USA. Good evening. Enjoy this beautiful fall weather. We will see you next time.